pittsburghboxing.com and I'm from London. I mean, tonight, spectacular night. I mean, I've been in this boxing business, I see about a good 12 years, man. Started with a good gentleman like Thomas Adamek. Been in here for a good minute. Stephen Espinoza, you took to the next level. Speak about this.
Well, our goal was to do something different, and the idea was that by putting everything together, aggregating it, that one big announcement raises the level, raises the awareness, elevates the entire sport, elevates each individual fighter. And part of the biggest challenge was getting fighters to buy in, because fighters are, in boxing, are used to having their own platform, their own press conference, and each of them will. But this is a group effort, and boxing traditionally hasn't been good at group events. So it was a little bit risky, but as soon as we got into it, it became very clear everybody was on board, everybody came through, was on time, worked well, the event went smoothly. We're thrilled with the outcome.
I can see, what was it, 2-3 years ago when Al Heyman came over with the PBC? Was it 3 years ago?
It was 2014, I believe.
4 years ago. 4 years ago. Like I said, man, boxing is just, you don't even know the next day and there's a fight. Yeah. We just had one last week and
that's the problem, and that's one of the big flaws, I think, about promotion and marketing the fight. The traditional boxing way of announcing a fight or announcing events one by one as they're finalized, or sometimes a main event, or sometimes a co-feature leaks out, or sometimes a date leaks out. It's not a satisfying experience for fans, for the media. Getting things organized, making it understand, look, this isn't just unrelated events happening. There's a strategy, there's a logic, there are fights that relate, where things fit in. It's really important to establish that within the sport.
Mr. Espinoza, as we said, man, where Al Heyman had the cards stacked against him. When he started off with the whole PBC movement, a lot of people, it was nothing positive, man. A lot of people were saying, a lot of promoters were against it and everything like that. And now we're 4 years ahead. You guys put on an event for the press where I've been in this, 12 years, man, and I haven't seen nothing like this before, and this is a whole different level, man. Like you said, to announce all these events for 6 months ahead, it's a whole different level, man.
Well, it really is, and the key was, again, getting out in front of it. So it was getting all the fighters to support and, doing the legwork to set a schedule, which includes, venues. You got to, negotiate a venue deal and lock in a venue. That's not something we would typically do for fights in May and June, but May 19th, we know that's at Brooklyn. We know that's Barclays Center. So it took a lot of effort from a lot of people, but I think at the end of the day, it was all worth it.
March 3rd, Deontay Wilder, the Bronze Bomber versus ORTIZ. How do you see that fight going down?
With heavyweights, it just takes one punch. I think there are a lot of people on Deontay's side because of how quickly he got rid of Stavern the second time around. But Luis Ortiz, he's going to step up in his performance. You can't just look at his last fight. He's a power-punching left-hander, a Cuban fighter. Those are all things which made all the other heavyweights avoid him. Deontay has the Joshua fight, sort of waiting. It's lingering on the horizon. And I give Wilder a lot of credit. He's not sitting around treading water waiting for that fight. It's almost as if he's pretending that fight's never going to happen. He's going for the biggest fight, the riskiest fight, trying to grow his career and not sitting still waiting for the big money fight. You have to respect that in a fighter.
Last question. Over the weekend, Adam Kovnowski, I seen you ringside. You won the one with Iago. I see a grin on your face. I put on instantly.
How can you not after that fight? He's fun to watch.
I put instantly right on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook. I said, you know what? 3 opponents I named that I would love to see him fight. Number 1, Andy Ruiz Jr., Joe DeVico, and Dominic Breazeale.
Yep.
Who would you love to see him in a ring?
I really like Dominic Breazeale. I think the question is, we know that Kaneki can take the guys at a certain level. I think the question is, okay, conditioning wise, skill wise, can he step up? Like, how high can he go? And I think Breazeale is certainly a step up against his competition. So I'd love to see him. He brings a big crowd out. He's entertaining as hell. He fights his heart out. I'm really curious to see how far he can take it.
Thank you, sir.
All right, you got it. Okay.